2, 2. Check 1, 2. All right, g'day everyone. This is Rod Moore here from Leadership Skills Institute. Want to talk to you about the 3 big social media influencers right now, names that you'll be familiar with, and talk about what they all have in common. So I'm referring to Tai Lopez, Cardone, and of course Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you look at all 3 of them over the last couple of years, they've all risen to a fairly high level of prominence. And if you ask the question, what exactly do they all have in common? Then I think you can identify a trait that they have, which any one of us in a leadership position can take on board and not necessarily get the same results as what they've got, because clearly they're masters of social media. They've mastered the ability to be able to influence large numbers of people via social media. But if we take on board the number 1 trait that they all have, we can at least get improved results over what we're currently getting. So that's why I thought I'd do this live stream. Just a little bit about us before I get into really talking about what they all have in common. We are a training organisation which is focused on helping leaders develop the essential skills of leadership. And so our business is Leadership Skills Institute, and you can go and visit our website if you have a look at the web address underneath here, www.leadershipskills.institute. If you go there and check out our page, you can put your email address in there, and there's access to a free video training course on this number 1 skill that we're about to talk about. So a little bit about us. I've been in business for 30 years or so, running a variety of different businesses. I've been a presenter, keynote speaker, run my own workshops and seminars, even developed two different TV shows which have been broadcast all around Australia, and utilize social media quite effectively in one of my other businesses as well. So I think this is really interesting when you look at Tai Lopez, and we've all seen the commercial, where he's holding the camera in his garage, talking about, here in my garage, I've got all these cars, but the one thing I value more is knowledge, right? Books. That sort of video rose Tai pretty much out of obscurity to global recognition in social media, and he's become a definite influencer. And Cardone, in the last couple of years as well, has also exploded onto the scene. Always been a very successful, well, I won't say always, but for a long time, a very successful sales trainer. And the last couple of years really embraced social media, and his popularity has just blown through the roof, right? Probably the last 3 or 4 years, but really the last 2, he's really exploded. And Gary Vaynerchuk, I think, is a bit of an interesting one, because he was working in his family wine business, and he started creating, probably, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, started creating a online TV show which was all about wine, right? So he actually started using social media in a different business than just in social media influencing. Pardon me. Oh, I do apologise. So yeah, Gary's an interesting chap. He utilised it for I guess a non-online business, and grew that wine business quite dramatically as a result. So the 3 of them, I think if you look at what they all have in common, and what we can, how can we replicate what they are all doing, is that they've all mastered the art of being persuasive speakers. And I believe that's the number 1 skill that we need today as leaders. If you want to be an influencer, a thought leader, or an entrepreneur, business owner, or even a CEO, if you've got a team of people and you're a CEO of a business, the number 1 skill for leaders today, right now, is definitely your ability to be able to speak persuasively and to be able to influence the audience that you have watching you. Because if you can't influence them and persuade them, then you don't rise above all the noise. Because if you look at Tai Lopez, Gary Vaynerchuk, Cardone, if you look at the 3 of them, they've risen out of a very crowded marketplace. Pardon me, I do apologise. It's a really crowded marketplace. There's tons of people, self-appointed experts, SEO experts and social media experts and internet marketing experts. There's tons and tons of people that are all trying to market themselves via social media in the way that these three have done. Why did these three rise to the top, whereas, you know, myself included, and maybe you watching this, haven't quite hit that sort of the same heights as what they've hit, right? So if you look at what they're doing, they're doing all the usual things, tweeting and posting and all that stuff, right? But what are they really doing is speaking. They're speaking to their audience every single day, and they're doing it via live stream predominantly now because the technology is available. Previously, you know, Gary Vee was recording his TV show and making that available because live stream's only something pretty new. But now that live stream is here and it's a reality on YouTube, Facebook, and so on, and no doubt we'll see other technology platforms come into play. But the fact that it's in your phone, you know, your mobile phone, you can stand there and live stream something direct from your phone. It's a major breakthrough. And so these guys have embraced the opportunity of using live stream video. And again, anybody can use it. Why have they risen to the top utilizing it is the question we need to really focus in on. And so what I think it is that when they utilize live stream video, it's their ability to be able to connect with their audience and really tap into their audience. And you know, who is their audience and what motivates that audience? That ability to be able to tap into that audience and persuade them through the power of their own spoken words is very, very powerful. Now, there's a fair bit of psychology going on behind the scenes as well. If you have a look at what Tai Lopez is doing, you know, when he's shooting those live streams at his house, playing the basketball, and he's giving away cash, he's giving away iPads, and, you know, laptops and things like that, cash prizes, and, you know, he's getting thousands of people who are joining in on the live stream because most of them are probably there because they want to have the opportunity to win money or win a laptop or whatever, right? And so the way he's doing that, if you sit back and watch what he's actually doing rather than being a participant in what he's doing, right? Sit back as an observer next time he is conducting one of his live streams where he's giving stuff away. You know, what he's doing is conditioning his audience to respond when he wants them to, right? So he will then say, I'm going to give away $100 cash, and, you know, the first person who tells me what brand of shoes am I wearing, that's what I saw him do yesterday, right? What brand of shoes am I wearing? And he would have already said what he was wearing earlier on. So he's looking for those people who are listening to what he's saying. But, you know, he's asking them to respond, and he's going to give away the prize of whatever that prize happens to be at that moment, right? Incredibly clever, because if you can build a large following of people and condition them to respond when you tell them to respond, guess what happens when you want to actually go and sell a product? You've already got this large audience of people who do what you tell them to do, right? They respond to get the reward. So when he goes to sell one of his next products or programs, like the social media agency or you know, the real estate program and a number of others, when he goes to sell those, he's already got an audience that's preconditioned to respond, right? It's very, very clever. It's subtle because I don't think most people are getting that that's what he's doing. So when I say the ability to be able to speak persuasively, to be able to influence an audience and persuade them, it's not only just your public speaking abilities, but it's also understanding the psychology of what gets people to respond, right? And the one thing that gets people to respond, this is a little bit like Pavlov's dogs. I mean, that's basically what Tai Lopez is doing, is applying Pavlov's dogs through social media to a large audience of people. And it's working. They respond, right? And this is why his sales are through the roof of every time he releases a product. Now, you know, he's got some reasonably good products. I've looked at a few of them. A couple of them maybe not as good as they could be. And some of them, you know, probably better than what they need to be. But the important thing is he's utilizing a very old psychological principle. So if you don't know what Pavlov's dogs are, Pavlov was a researcher, and I believe he was Russian, and he had a group of dogs, and he would feed them at a certain time each day, and he'd notice that that they would salivate at the time when he went to feed them, right? So they were conditioned to expect food to come, and they started to salivate. So he did an experiment. When he went to feed them, he'd ring a bell. So they'd get their reward, the food, they'd salivate, he'd ring a bell, right? And he did this repeatedly over and over and over until one day all he had to do was ring the bell, and the dogs salivated, thinking they were about to get food. So he was conditioning them, anchoring them to respond at the time when he wanted them to respond, right? And so that's what Tai Lopez is effectively doing with his audience on social media. So next time he's doing a live social media stream and doing it from his basketball court in particular, or around his board table there where he gathers his friends together to do his video blogging, have a look at what he does when he gets people, when he has a giveaway, and how he gets people to respond, and how he's conditioning them to respond when he tells them to, right? It's very clever. And so the next time he releases a product, he's had a month of conditioning his audience to respond when he tells them to. So very, very smart. And I've noticed that Grant Cardone right now is in the middle of giving away $1 million in cash. Pretty sure he got the idea from Tai. He's been watching Tai for the last 6 months grow his audience through, pretty girls on the basketball court, and cash and laptops and iPhones and so on to give away. Growing an audience. Now that particular strategy of the pretty girls in bikinis on a basketball court and the giveaways is attracting a particular type of audience. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me, the pretty girls maybe, but I'm not going to hang around waiting to try and win $100 on a live stream. I go there to watch how he's doing it and what he's doing, but the money or the prizes is inconsequential. So if he was going after an audience like me, then he's probably not going to use those strategies, right? But Grant Cardone has now picked up on what Ty's been doing, and he's about to give away $1 million cash, and pretty smart move, because what he'll do is structure it in such a way that people have to, basically promote him on social media. It'll grow his audience exponentially. That new audience that he'll attract, he'll be able to sell more than $1 million worth of product to, unquestionably, right? But again, he's going to use that conditioning. If you do X, Y, and Z, then you are in the running to win the money, right? So a pretty good strategy to start getting your audience to do what you tell them to. Gary Vaynerchuk is a little bit different in his approach. And in fact, most of the clients that he's probably going after are the very high-end corporate clients in terms of consultancies and so on. But his approach is slightly different. But, if you look at the three of them, what are they all doing on a daily basis, right? They're not creating content, because you hear a lot about content marketing. And content marketing can be a bit bored and sort of, people lose interest in content marketing pretty quickly. If you're just writing bland articles, 5 steps to do this and blah, 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 content marketing, it goes boring very quickly for a lot of people. So, Tai, Grant, and Gary V, really what they're doing is documenting their life in the way that the Kardashians have been, making money by documenting their life in a reality TV show. So these three guys are blurring the lines between positioning themselves as experts and expert marketing, right, over on this side, and celebrity type focus on this side, and pulling the two together. And it's that sweet spot in the middle. So you need to have expertise to be an influencer, right? It's not just about having a big audience. You need to have the expertise there. But there's also that element of celebrity that keeps it interesting, keeps you fascinating, keeps your audience engaged. Otherwise, the audience switches off pretty quickly, right? So what these guys are doing is really documenting their life and building celebrity around themselves. But all of it boils back to they're great presenters, they're great speakers. You put a camera in front of their face and they're doing a 1 hour seminar without notes. So the ability to be able to speak and influence and persuade is the number one skill of leadership. And that's where you should put your effort and focus in right now. There's a lot of people out there who've got YouTube channels, right? And they've got Twitter accounts, and they've got Instagram and Facebook, and they're just not getting the same results, even though they think they're doing the same thing, posting regularly and creating content, right? But what they're not doing is speaking in such a way that people are influenced. They're not speaking in such a way that the marketplace feels magnetically drawn to them and wants to connect with them and bond with them and wants to get involved in the programs and the teachings and the products and services that they have to offer. That's what they're not doing. So learning how to speak with influence, learning how to be a persuasive speaker, I think is one of the most important skills in this day and age. Because if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, if you're wanting to be an influencer in a marketplace, or if you want to be a thought leader or seem to be an expert, your voice has to get heard, and you have to be able to speak with authority, and you have to have that level of certainty in what you're saying to attract an audience to you. Most people are missing this, and this is why they're not getting anywhere near the same sort of results. That's where you need to go to work on. You need to work on yourself and really get clear on how do you develop yourself as a leading expert by developing the skills to put that across, right? So if you've got a message you want to get out into the marketplace, if you know that you have a product or service that can completely change people's lives and probably change the world at the same time, and you're passionate about that, the way you're going to get that message out there is your ability to be able to talk about it to your target market. We have the tools, all the tools are there now, right? Live stream, like I'm doing right now. You can do it off your mobile phone, and you can reach out to a global marketplace. There's never been a better time in history than right now, ever, right? We've never had tools like this that have been available for free, that you can reach out to a marketplace all around the world and talk into their hearts, minds, and souls, and connect with them and attract them to you. There's never been a time like that in history than right now. Question is, are you going to take advantage of it, right? How do you take advantage of it? It's not the technology. You can work out the technology in a few minutes. You can get an app on your phone and you can start live streaming in about 10 seconds, basically. So it's not the technology. It's the ability to be able to identify who that market is, what message you want to get to them, what's going to make you attractive to them, and how to talk in a way that you become persuasive and that they just feel magnetically drawn to you. That's what you need to go to work on. Okay, and that's why I've set up Leadership Skills Institute. See, I've got other businesses. One of my other businesses is I'm an art teacher, and I've had more than 15,000 students come through my online programs, and I make money online pretty much in an automated fashion. All I do is go and record more training programs, and each time I do, I make more money, right? So I've got other businesses that I've been working on, and I've been successful with those. But I started Leadership Skills Institute because I believe that there's a real gap in the market right now for people to learn how to speak with influence and be persuasive, right? And start to really develop an audience that feels compelled to want to work with them. So if you want to learn more about what I've just been talking about and really start to develop similar skills to what Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk have got, that ability to be able to speak with passion and certainty and to really connect with the market and get a message out there and make yourself compelling. If that's what you want, if you want to develop those sort of skills, then what I'd suggest is just drop by our website, leadershipskills.institute. So it's www.leadershipskills.institute, right? If you go to our website there, on the front page, you can pop your email address in, and I'll send you free access to a brand new training that I've done, which is about how to speak, attract clients, and grow your profits. So if you're a business owner, you definitely want to watch that, because when you learn how to speak with passion and have a level of certainty about what you're saying and be influential, when you learn those skills, you can do things like record videos. You can do the corporate type videos for your website. You can do live stream every day, all day long if you wanted to, right? On Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and so on. You can do webinars, right? Because webinars are an incredibly powerful way to connect with people and to sell them your product and service. You can then go and do keynote speaking, right? If you develop one good speech, then you can earn multiple six figures from that one good speech. So you can go out and be a keynote speaker. You can go and speak at other people's seminars and workshops, or you can speak at your own seminars and workshops. You can put on your own seminars and workshops. And you can also get really good at writing in a persuasive way. When you understand the psychology of how to persuade and influence people through the spoken word, then it opens up doors which right now might be the missing link in how to grow your business. So drop by our website, check out the free training video that I have put together for you, and look out for more videos from us. I mean, if you've enjoyed this one, please like this video, share it, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to also hear what other traits have you noticed in common between Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk. I'd be really interested to hear what your feedback is on that. But please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and I'll be doing lots more videos like this, giving you the insights that you need to become a powerful leader in today's crazy world that we live in. My name's Rod Moore, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.